What's up? I think only like 3 people ever watch these videos, but all 3 of them said I should do a new one, so I'm gonna do a new one. And I'm gonna start this zine review video by reviewing a zine review zine. Xerography Debt. If you like zines, then you should read this, or you probably do. And if you don't have the newer issues, you should get them. A bunch of zinesters write this, and it's articles and stories about zine making and the zine life. But it's also a lot of reviews of all kinds of random zines from all over the world. You're guaranteed to read some review in here that's going to make you want to go buy a zine, put $1 in the mail, and do the thing. This is like a little bit of glue in the zine community, keeping us all connected, keeping us all reading each other's stuff. If you like zines, get this one, and then you can find more zines. Deafula number 5. Deafula, of course, one of my favorite zines ever. This one is Interview with My Mother. It is an interview with her mother. What's it like being the mom of a kid who's growing up deaf? What did you do? When did you first find out she was deaf? How did you figure that out? How did you get her into school? It's a pretty funny interview. It's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting, and it gives you like insight into a world that maybe you never otherwise would have known about. We've spent a few issues learning from her perspective, and now we're going to learn from her mother's perspective. So pretty cool. Good issue. You should get it. Matt Carmen, some dude that lives in New York, Brooklyn probably. This is called Taken for a Ride, My Night in the Cash Cab. So Cash Cab is a game show where people get into a cab. Welcome to the Cash Cab, and then they ask them trivia, and then if they don't answer the questions right, they're kicked out on the curb. It all seems very spontaneous and fun. This kind of gives you the inside track. It seems fun, but not so spontaneous. It's kind of a prearranged deal. Like, they know who's going to be in the cash cab. But it's really interesting to learn like what it's like how the structure of a game show. How do they put a game show together? This dude was on the cash cab, and he talks all about it in this zine, and it's really fun and really funny and really, really well written. It's not just we got in and answered questions. Like Matt's a really funny writer. Going along with this, Matt has also put out a zine called Come On Down, which is true game show tales by winners, losers, viewers, and folks behind the scene. So this is edited by Matt. So he talks about the cash cab in here also, but there's a whole bunch of different people that talk about a whole bunch of different game shows. Maybe they went on the game show, maybe they helped produce a game show. If you're at all interested in television or game shows specifically, but how is a television show put together? How is it produced? How does that work? If you have any interest in that, you should check this out. Both zines, really, really funny and really interesting. Kind of like a weird little subgenre of zines that I've never read about. So I totally dug those zines. Get them. I'm reviewing a book. How about that? This is called Mostly True. It's all about hobo graffiti. It's from, I think it's a magazine that got turned into a book. It's by Bill Daniels, which a lot of people, or Bill Daniel, who a lot of people probably know or have heard of, photographer and writer. And this is all about hobo graffiti and the history of hobo graffiti, of freight train graffiti. I think I got this from Microcosm Publishing. I'm pretty sure it's available in a few different places. You see it around in bookstores now and then. It was like $10. If you're interested in graffiti, or if you're interested in trains, or if you're just a history person, if you like history, this is actually pretty interesting. I don't know, there's a few interviews in here, a lot of stories in here, just the progression of why did people start writing on boxcars. This is going back olden days, long before graffiti as we know it now, back when people were just scribbling on train cars. For me personally, I loved it. It was totally up my alley. If you're into graffiti, it's pretty cool. Finally, last but not least, Masque of Infamy by Kelly Descent. I don't know how you pronounce it, Descent. He does the zine Piltdown Lad. which is a really great zine. And this is sort of like, if you like Piltdown Lad, you'll like this, because this sort of expands on a lot of stories that are in there, and it expands on some of the ideas. But basically, when he was a kid, like 15, he was living with his dad and this other dude and his brother, and they left California and they moved to the South, and now he's in a brand new school, and he's all like, it's the 80s, he's poofing up his hair, and he's got the jean jacket, and he's going to school, and everyone's like, why are you dressed like that? So it's a story about not fitting in. It's a story about being a teenager. It's a story about having kind of a messed up childhood. If you have abuse issues, there are some triggers in here, so maybe not for everybody. So kind of some rough stories in some of it. But it's basically about growing up punk rock, growing up as a skateboarder, growing up with like no friends, trying to figure out where to find your friends, trying to find, finding anyone that's wearing a t-shirt of a metal band and trying to be friends with them, that kind of stuff, and contemplating running away from home, contemplating how to survive. I guess it's a story of survival. Him and his brother went through some rough stuff. They end up in a foster home. It's a book. It's a big fat book. Says $14 on the back. Well written. If you like his zine, Piltdown Lad, you'll like this as well. It's same sort of stuff. That's it. Thanks.